Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Vibe Channel, and I am Alex. Why do so many English learners sound rude without even realizing it?
That is such an important question to start with. The biggest reason is direct translation. Many learners translate their thoughts directly from their native language into English. Grammatically, the sentence might be correct, but socially, it can sound too direct in American culture.
What does too direct really mean in American English?
It means the sentence feels like a command instead of a request. For example, saying, "Send me the report," is grammatically correct. But in an American workplace, it can sound demanding. A more natural version would be, "Could you please send me the report?"
So, just adding could makes that big of a difference?
Absolutely. Words like could, would, and might soften your request. They show respect and consideration. Those small changes completely shift how people feel when they hear you.
Why is politeness so important in the United States?
In American culture, people value friendliness and professionalism at the same time. You can be confident, but you should also be respectful. If you're too blunt, people may interpret it as aggression rather than efficiency.
Is being polite the same as being weak?
Not at all. That's a common misunderstanding. Politeness is emotional intelligence. It shows you understand social dynamics. You can be very strong and very polite at the same time.
What is the safest polite phrase someone can start using immediately?
Could you please is one of the safest phrases in American English. For example, could you please explain that again? It sounds natural, professional, and respectful.
What about in everyday situations like a coffee shop?
Instead of saying, "Give me a coffee," you could say, "Could I please get a medium coffee?" That sounds friendly and normal.
Is please always necessary?
Not always, but it helps. Tone matters more than the word itself. If you say please in an angry tone, it doesn't sound polite.
What about workplace emails?
In emails, phrases like, "I hope you're doing well," or "I was wondering if you could," sound professional. For example, "I was wondering if you could review this document when you have a moment."
Why does "I was wondering if" sound so polite?
Because it softens the request. It makes it feel less demanding and more collaborative.
What is a common mistake learners make at work?
Sending short, direct messages like "update." That can feel abrupt. Instead, say, "Could you please provide an update when you have a moment?"
What about disagreeing politely? That feels difficult.
It can be. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," try, "I see your point, but I have a slightly different perspective." That keeps the conversation respectful.
How do Americans usually ask for clarification?
They often say, "Just to clarify," or "just to make sure I understand." Those phrases sound thoughtful and professional.
Why do learners sometimes feel nervous about sounding polite?
Because they worry about grammar. But politeness is not just grammar. It's tone, timing, and word choice.
What role does tone play?
Tone can completely change meaning. If you say, "What do you mean?" sharply, it sounds aggressive. If you say it gently, it sounds curious.
So how can someone practice sounding more natural?
Practice transforming direct sentences into polite ones. For example, change "help me" into "could you help me, please?" Do that daily.
What about in job interviews?
In interviews, asking polite questions shows professionalism. For example, "Could you tell me more about the team I would be working with?"
Is it okay to ask follow-up questions?
Absolutely. Follow-up questions show engagement. For example, if someone explains something, you could say, "That's helpful. Could you give me an example?"
How can someone avoid sounding overly formal?
Use natural phrases instead of textbook language. For example, instead of saying, "I sincerely request your assistance," just say, "Could you help me with this?"
What about casual conversations with friends?
You can be less formal. For example, "Can you send me that photo?" is fine among friends.
Does body language affect politeness?
Very much. Eye contact, relaxed posture, and a calm voice make your words feel more genuine.
What is one powerful phrase that instantly makes someone sound professional?
"I appreciate your time." That shows gratitude and maturity.
What if someone feels afraid to speak?
Confidence comes from repetition. Start with small, polite phrases daily. Over time, it becomes automatic.
So politeness builds confidence?
Yes. When people respond positively, your confidence grows naturally.
Before we close, how can someone sound polite without sounding weak?
Be clear and firm while using softening language. For example, "Could you please send the report by 3 p.m.?" That is polite and strong.
What's your final message for everyone watching?
Remember, politeness in American English is about respect, clarity, and confidence. Small word changes create big results. Practice every day. Speak up. Don't stay silent. The more you use polite, natural phrases, the more fluent and confident you will become.
Thank you so much for breaking this down so clearly.
Thank you for the great questions. And to everyone watching, keep practicing, keep improving, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to English Vibe channel for more professional English training.